Welcome to this contemplation on doing things out of intuitive desire to do them and not based off of following the rules and doing what people tell you to do, doing what people want from you. Now, there is something to having what's called inner authority, where we follow our own inner authority, our own inner guidance system inside of us. And then there's the external authority, where we follow other people and do what they're telling us to do. And, follow the leader, as the saying goes. And so when we, go through, when it comes to blind faith or blindly trusting authority and blindly just going along with the status quo and what the rule is and what the regulation is and what the order of command is because we want to be looked at in a positive way by the group. We can think about herd mentality, we can think about groupthink. It all really boils down to ourselves not trusting what feels right for us and just following what somebody else tells us to do or expects of us, and we do it anyway, whether or not it feels right for us or not. Now, this is a kind of petty example of this. But if you are going to Oraclepalooza Virtual, which is a 3-day spiritual event where you get a swag box and you get an Oracle deck, everyone has the same deck for that particular year. For example, this year's theme is the Dreamweaver's Oracle deck. Now, this event is hosted by the spiritual teacher, author, Oracle card deck creator, singer, and founder of Oracle School, Colette Baron-Reid. And the idea of Oraclepalooza Virtual is an event that's interactive where you engage with like-minded people like yourself seeking to gain spiritual clarity and seeking to make changes in their life and reevaluate their life and gain a lot of wisdom as sort of, Oraclepalooza Virtual acts as a stepping stone for people along their spiritual journey, that they can make this pit stop at this one, online virtual, staycation of an experience where you're not just watching Colette, you're not just watching it unfold, you're actually getting in there and you're actually participating. There are Zoom rooms, breakout rooms where you share what you've journaled about when you pulled certain Oracle cards. There's meditations, all relating back to a specific deck with a specific theme. And so when it comes to Oracle decks, when you're buying an Oracle deck, does it feel right for you? Does it intuitively make sense for you to buy that Oracle deck? Is there something there that you feel called toward buying the deck for whatever reason? Not just, oh, it looks good and I just want to have it for the sake of having it. It is more along the lines of, I could really learn a lot from this, and I feel like this deck is going to be a friend to me when I feel uncertain or scared or anxious or sad, or like my life is in the pits or whatever it may be, and I just feel like I need some guidance, and I feel that this deck is going to be the right deck for me. So Are you buying the deck just from your ego wanting it? Or is your soul just sort of persuading you and whispering to you and inviting you to buy this deck? And do you feel pressured to buy this deck from what is going on, externally? Do you feel like other people are pressuring you to do this, or pressuring you to have this, or do you truly want to have this? Do you truly want to have this job, or buy this thing, or do whatever, have this relationship? But when it comes to being an Oracle Palooza Virtual, do you genuinely feel like, I want to use the Oracle deck that people are using? Or do you feel like, well, I need to use the Oracle deck that everybody's using because this is the theme, this is the plan, and I have to follow the plan? I was given a swag box, which is like a toolkit for the event with all these things, including the specific deck that I have to use for this event. What if you break the rules? I don't know if it's breaking the rules or not. Maybe you could use whatever deck that you feel called to in the moment. One day it could be from Colette Baron Reid's Oracle decks. One day it can be the Shaman's Dream. And then another day you really feel called to the wisdom of the Oracle deck, or you just kind of feel close to nature, so you want some guidance from the Spirit Animal Oracle. So letting loose the attachment to the form of something being a certain way, and letting loose the expectation that I am going to, all 3 days of Oracle Palooza Virtual, I'm going to use the same deck, because it really does not matter which deck that you use. It doesn't. It shouldn't. Because all the decks are good in their own way, and they serve the same general purpose. They may have different meanings, or different images, or different titles, but it really shouldn't matter, because it's what you gain from the experience of being at Oracle Palooza Virtual. It's what you get out of it. And you're doing what feels right to you. The whole idea is using Oracle cards for spiritual growth. And that comes from a place of truth and authenticity. Like, this is the deck that I want to use for my spiritual growth for this 3-day event, or for this day, and then I want to use a different deck on this day because it feels like the right deck to use. And, why not? It's one of Colette Baron Reid's decks, and I want to use it. And I feel like it's going to give me the answers that my soul is looking for. It just feels right. It just feels like there's something in that deck that's right and meant for me, as opposed to Dreamweaver's Oracle. Let's say this theme for one of Colette Baron Reid's decks for this year in particular was Dreamweaver's Oracle, but maybe you're like, I kind of want to break the mold a little bit and do my own thing. So I'm going to use the Enchanted Map. I really feel like I want to use that. Use it, by all means, because it really shouldn't matter. It's all wisdom, and it's all spiritual, and it's all Oracle cards that work the same way, that, again, as I said, serve the same general purpose. I mean, it really shouldn't matter. I mean, maybe tarot cards would be a different thing, but Oracle cards, especially like keeping within that same kind of context of Colette Baron Reid's decks. Maybe there's another one of her decks to use. And it was so interesting because a couple of years ago, before I even got on YouTube and started my channel, I was very determined to go to Oraclepalooza Virtual at the very end of July, the beginning of August, with the mindset that I would use a different deck than everybody else would be using. And that's really the only reason why I wanted to go. I know that sounds kind of egoic. It was. And then there were aspects of me that wanted to go and parts of me that wanted that experience. And so I felt bad for not going because of the FOMO, because of the commercialization of the event. And I was getting sick and tired of hearing it because I followed Colette Baron-Reid. I watched her videos. At the time, she was doing weekly Oracle readings instead of monthly ones. But I was very determined that I would use her Spirit Animal Oracle deck instead of the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. Spirit Animal Oracle was the first deck that I got, and I really wish that she used that deck more in her videos, and so I wanted to use it. While everybody else was doing this thing and using this deck, I wanted to use another deck. And so, but where does it come from? Does it come from an ego place? Or does it come from an intuitive internal place where it just feels right for you and you're just not feeling the shaman's or the shaman's dream is another one for the theme for last year's deck. Like, it has to feel right on an intuitive level. I mean, why do we follow the rules? Because we're supposed to follow the rules. We're supposed to obey certain laws in society. We read certain books in English classes that are assigned to us, because if we don't do that, then something feels off, something feels wrong, and so it feels right to just conform. And it has to feel right. But if you're using this year's theme, Dreamweaver Oracle, at Oraclepalooza Virtual, and it just doesn't feel right, then you have permission to use another deck that does feel right on an intuitive level and not an egoic level. So, the answer is really to be true to yourself and to enter into a job or relationship, whatever it is, something that feels intuitively right. So, I hope that you found some value in this, and I'll catch you another time.